Hi, my name is Keisha Wilkerson, and I'm the Wisconsin State Director. And this year has been an interesting year, and many of you were not able to attend our virtual vision event on Wednesday night. And so I wanted to be able to present to you a recorded version of our virtual vision event, um, hosted by me. And so I hope you enjoyed this time. And so I just first want to thank you and welcome you for being here. We have been so blessed by your support, by your prayers and your financial support. And we've seen God move in some powerful, powerful ways. And so we're going to first start off with this first video as a thank you to all of your support to our work in Wisconsin.
Hi, I'm JC. I'm a special education major, and this is my second semester in Impact.
Hi, I'm Alexis. I am a senior now. My major is graphic design, and I've been participating in Impact for 4 years now.
Hello, my name is Thomas Collins. I'm a supply chain major at UW-Madison. I'm a junior and I've been in Impact for about a year.
Hey y'all, I'm Tori. I am a HDFS major or Human Development and Family Studies. I'm a senior and I have been involved with Impact for about 5 or so years.
Hello, my name is Josh. I'm a geography major, as my math shows. I'm a senior and I've been part of Impact for about a year and a half.
My name's Vanessa Wilkerson. I'm a freshman and my major is exercise physiology. This is my first year in Impact.
Hi, my name is Diamond Jackson. I am a junior and my major is theater education, and I've been in Impact or participated in Impact for years.
Hi, my name is Unique Payton. I am a sophomore and my major is elementary education, and I've been a part of Ignite since fall semester.
Hello, my name is Keyshawn Williams. I am a senior. I'm a political science major minoring in French, and I've been involved in Impact for about a year.
Hi, my name is Erica. I'm a social work major. I am a junior. I have been involved in Impact for a little over a semester.
Thank you from UW Oshkosh Impact.
And say thank you from RCAT.
Thank you from Impact at UW Whitewater.
Thank you from Impact at UW-Madison.
I want to echo the thank you of the students from across the state. We have been so blessed by your support, by your encouragement, as well as your prayers. And so I wanted to give my students a chance to thank you from their own voices. And so I hope that that was a blessing to you. We also have a testimony from one of our students. He has been involved with Impact for about a year, and he was originally involved with a different ministry where there was a lot of hurt and struggle. And I got the chance and the opportunity to get to know him and meet him a year from last December. And he was really excited to hear about what Impact was and what we did. And so as a result of that, spring of 2021, he started attending Impact and has been involved ever since. And so here's a testimony about his experience and how Impact has been able to be the resource in the community that he needed in the time and the place that he was in his walk with Jesus.
About 2 years ago, I was a part of a different campus ministry on campus, and I was starting to think about stuff about race and talking about that in the organization, because up until that time, there hadn't been many discussions at all about things about race, which for me, as a person of color, was really hard in that ministry. So later that summer, which happened to be the summer of 2020, we did end up getting race discussions started, which I helped to lead, which was really awesome. It was really great to have those. However, there didn't seem to be a whole lot of support from the staff, as well as a lot of the students didn't really seem to be connecting with it. And then it was really hard for me to try to lead those without a lot of support, and then being like the only person in that ministry that was any percent Black. That was really tough. So I actually talked to Keisha beginning of winter break my junior year, and just, well, what's Impact? What are they about? I knew that it was like a Black student ministry. I was like, oh, that would be like really cool and really helpful. And Keisha was like, oh, we're doing this study out about being righteous revolutionaries. And I was like, I love things about justice. And that was the thing that I was really missing from the other ministry that I was a part of. So I was like, oh, let me try out this Impact. So I came and was, doing this study about righteous revolutionaries, which was just great to be able to talk about justice in like a Christian ministry. Honestly, I don't think I'd ever really heard, like in church or Sunday school, any other campus ministry, much talk about justice. But Impact, one of its core values or pillars, whatever it's called, is justice, which I really love. So it's just really encouraging to be able to talk about that. But then for there to also be people that look more similar to me, who experience similar things that I do, and to really have that support system. So that's really been staying since my time in Impact. It's been about a year and a half that I've been here, and it's been really enjoyable.
And so next, I would love to share with you a recap video of this past year and the things that we've done and how we've been able to impact our students. So I hope you enjoy.
But I'm grateful that God has brought me back full circle to being back on Impact staff. As a student leader here, as I think that Impact is definitely something that is necessary for this campus and that the Black students here on campus need. So I'm really grateful and honored to be a part of this organization again, or movement, if you will, to really just keep this thing going.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy
And so do you feel like you received what you were looking for at the conference?
Absolutely, I definitely did. It was really nice to just kind of like reconnecting, feel God's presence, like again.
Yeah. Well, I hope you were encouraged by that. And now I would just love to share about some of the things that we hope to see in the coming years, but also what we've seen in this year and the struggles that our students have had. And so students have been experiencing very similar things that they've have experienced in 2020. There's still a lot of death. There's still a lot of loneliness, a strong desire for community, life-giving community, a desire to want more and to encounter Jesus. And so it's been a hard one for many of our students, and many of our students, sophomores, never really experienced an actual normal year where they're able to engage and connect on campus and be in community and get to know people, as well as know their way around, get to know their way around campus. So for a lot of our students, this is their first time to have close to a normal campus experience. And so this has been an interesting year, but God has been moving and allowing Impact to be that space where students have been able to build community, build relationship and connection with each other. Although our chapters are quite a bit smaller than they were pre-COVID, it has allowed students to really build close connections and relationships with each other. And so it's been really cool to see how students have been able to not only grow in their relationship with Jesus, but also learn how to live in community, how to build relationships, how to deal with conflict, how to engage with each other, while they're also all trying to seek to grow in their relationship with Jesus. And so as we think about this past year and how things have been going, we really have a strong desire in this next upcoming year to see at least 2 student leaders on each campus be raised up. Right now, every campus has about 1 student leader, and those 1 student leaders are doing the job. They are reaching college students on their campus. They are really helping Impact thrive in the state. But there's only so much that 1 student can do. And so our desire is to be able to see multiple student leaders on each campus, so that we can reach more Black college students, so that one student is not having to do a lot more work, but also allows for more creativity and more opportunities to connect with even more students. And so we're also looking and hoping to recruit 2 new staff or volunteers to work and serve with us. We are losing 2 staff members this year, volunteers, one at Whitewater, she's moving to a different state, as well as our student staff at UW-Madison is graduating. And so 2 is the minimum. We definitely need more staff. But the hope is to be able to cover all of the campuses that we currently have. And so we would love to see at least 2 staff and volunteers raised up for next year. Also, we really have a strong desire to stabilize our chapters. Right now, the chapters are doing pretty well, but with only having 1 student leader at each campus, as well as having smaller movements across the state, and with most of our staff being volunteers, one thing can happen and those chapters can completely fall apart or be very difficult to keep going. And so our desire is to see some more of the stability within our chapters, so that we know that these chapters can thrive and grow and develop over several years. But also we would love to host a Wisconsin Impact Leadership Institute in August, equipping 10 students to reach their campuses, at least 10 students to reach their campuses. And this is not only a space for student leaders or new student leaders, but it's really a space for students that desire to lead in any way or form, whether it's within Impact or in another organization, or students that want to seriously think about and consider what does it look like to be a leader or someone that's intentionally reaching those for Christ on their campus, and even partnering with the student leaders in Impact where they might not be able to keep up with the commitment that is required for Impact student leader, but want to enter in and join those student leaders in the time that they do have to be able to serve Black students on their campus. But also, we would love to send 50 Wisconsin Impact students to the National Impact National Conference in December. This conference is always a huge catalyst for launching students out into their campus, into the community, to share Jesus, that would challenge them to grow in their faith. Some students gain a relation, choose to follow Jesus at these conferences. And so these conferences are really, really, in a lot of ways, essential to us being able to have this one space of 5 days where students encounter Jesus, learn a lot, and are catapulted into serving and equipping and reaching Black students on their campus, as well as going beyond their campus into their communities. And so just some of our funding needs. We have 4 categories for funding needs. We really, these funding needs include the national conference, our staff volunteer and student development, chapter expenses, as well as our Wisconsin Staff Fund. And so the national conference is one of our biggest expenses. This is a conference where my goal is always to be able to provide free transportation to all Impact students in Wisconsin. So that is one expense that they will not have to worry about. But also our desire is to be able to provide some scholarships. This conference is not cheap. It's very expensive. It's very expensive to put on, which makes it very expensive for students to attend. And so our desire is to be able to raise enough funds to be able to offset some of the costs for all of our students, but then also provide more scholarships for students that are in financial hardships. One of the things that we don't want to happen is for funds to be a reason why students decide not to go to the conference. If any student decides not to go, we don't want funds to be the reason. We also have a category of our student and coach development. This is really the place where all the funds come from to pay for our leadership retreats, as well as expenses for coaches. A lot of our coaches, if not most of our coaches, are volunteers. And so they take time off work to go to all the required events that they're required to go to, including their training. They spend anywhere between 5 to 15 hours a week serving and reaching our students. And so one of the things that I always desire to do is to be able to offset some of the costs to them so that they can feel more freedom to enter into these spaces. So whenever we have an all-day getaway or retreat or a national conference, I try my best to be able to provide the registration, to pay for the registration fees for those events. So that's one thing, less thing that they have to worry about. And it makes it more likely that they will stay volunteers and continue to serve and work alongside of, as well as these expenses also go towards staff that might be short in their support, that might need a little bit more help to pay for any trainings or conferences that they're required to do as a staff member as well. We also, a part of these funds go to the campus visits that I have each month. I visit every campus in the state once a month. And this is a chance for me to get to know the students on the campus, to be able to be in the space and give feedback and direction, to deal with any conflict that comes up on the campus amongst students or staff or anything that is happening that might require someone else coming in, and also to be present, just to be present and be there, and for students to know that there's somebody else rooting for them. In addition to being able to give our volunteer staff a break if they need it, to be able to come in and lead Bible study or lead a discussion or encourage students or be an additional support to the staff as they're seeking to reach out to their students. And then we also have, we're seeking to raise $15,000 for chapter expenses. This is about $3,000 per campus. And so this is where most of the money comes from for us to actually do the work. And so this is outreach materials, this is Bible study materials, special events, and all the things that they'll need to be able to reach the students. And so our care package funds came from these funds, as well as any Bible materials that students have access to. If they decide to do a special event on campus, the funds come out of there. Most of our campuses do snacks each week for their meetings, and periodically does meals for students. And so that's where all these funds come from, for us to really build a community, to reach out to Black students, but also build life-giving community within impact spaces. And lastly is our Wisconsin Staff Fund. And so this fund, it makes me really excited. This year is the first year that we've actually used we've used the funds from this fund. Last year, we didn't have any fund and no money in the fund. And so thanks to you, all of your gifts, we have been able to fund a student staff at UW-Madison. And so Tori Briggs is currently being paid bi-monthly, not bi-monthly, twice a month, every other week, allowing her to be able to not have another job outside of impact, which is freeing her up to be able to work more in impact spaces and reach more Black students, and in turn helping us to sustain a chapter there. As of this year, this past year, we did not have a staff member or a volunteer to serve students at UW-Madison. And so Tori being able to be available to do this, and us being able to pay her to work more hours as a student leader. So her job is really, her payment is just to allow her to not have to take on another job, but to be able to focus in on being a student leader at UW-Madison. And so that's been a huge blessing to all of our students at UW-Madison, as well as for me to be able to see that UW-Madison continues to thrive and continues to be a chapter there. But also these funds not only go to a student staff at a particular at one campus, but the hope is also that this fund will be able to assist new staff in their funding. So if we have a new staff that is raising support, and we need them on campus faster, so us being able to provide some funds towards their monthly goal allows them to be able to make it to campus a little bit faster. But also we have the fund to assist staff that might be at risk of getting a short paycheck due to lack of funds in their staff account. And so as a staff member, like for myself, I have a team of people that give monthly to my salary. And sometimes there's times where I might lose multiple ministry partners. And if my staff account dwindles because of that, I might be at risk of a short paycheck. And so having a staff fund like this allows space to where a staff member might have a month where they're like, I'm not going to have a full paycheck. They're able to contact me and say, is there any way that the Wisconsin Staff Fund can help me? And so that allows us to transfer funds to to their staff account so that they will be able to have a full paycheck and not have to worry about struggling financially because they unexpectedly lost some support that they were expecting. And so our total need for this upcoming year is $85,000. And this is quite a bit more than what our goal has been in the past. And that's really because of the staff fund. The staff fund has, I've realized how much of a blessing it has been for this year to have this fund, because it has allowed us to be able to see a campus continue when it could have just died out. And so this staff fund is really important to us being able to see that we have staff on a particular campus that we need them, and that funds won't be an issue or a reason why they're not able to be on campus and serve students. I would love to welcome Jimmy McGee, the president of Impact, to join us.
Young adults are really struggling with the idea of what does it mean to know God in this world, and does the God of the universe care about the issues that we're facing Monday through Saturday. And so in Impact, our focus is not talking to our students about afterlife, but actually talking to them about life now. And I need you to hear this part, because I think that would inspire you in terms of thinking about how to contribute to the well-being of Keisha and her vision for the state of Wisconsin and giving. We want to teach students how to live. I'm gonna share one little story with you that I think was very, very important to me. And I shared it last summer as we had our staff gathering. All our staff from around the country gathered in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, near the lake. And some of our staff from Texas and Louisiana couldn't believe how mild the weather was, 67 and a breeze in the middle of August when they're used to temperatures being above 100. But this is a story I think is going to be important to our ministry, similar to what Keisha said to us earlier. You see, Sheila Fennessy is a friend of mine. I've known Sheila for a number of years. I met her when I started working with InterVarsity. She was working with Crew at that time, and she helped facilitate and be behind the scenes and administrate the very first Impact Conference. She attended church with me in Atlanta, and she married Fred Fennessy. After they got married, before they started having children, they relocated to North Carolina, where they had 3 girls that are the same age as my 3 sons. Well, last year, around late July or August, actually 2 months prior to that, actually 4 months prior to that, Sheila lost her mother. Her dad had died 3 years earlier, and she's the only child of her parents. Well, 3 months after Mama died, Fred's cancer came back with a vengeance. And before you know it, he was on the decline, and they were preparing hospice in their home for her and her daughters to say goodbye to her husband. Well, I called her a few weeks after Fred's transition, because at 12:30 at night, I think her second daughter gave Fred some medicine, and then Sheila was supposed to get up at 3:30 in the morning to give him his next dose. And when she got up, Fred had already transitioned to be with the Lord. And so I called just to check in, to remind her that we care for her, love her, and will be supportive of her. And I asked her, how are you doing? And she said, you know, we're doing okay. We're managing all this loss. And I asked, well, how is your church during this time? And she said, Jimmy, the church has been unusual. She said, Fred and I, we were attracted to this church, not just because the pastor could preach the scriptures and really teach people what it meant to be followers of Jesus. What really captured our attention to join this church is that they're kind. And she said, the way they've demonstrated their kindness recently is that right after Fred died, I called the pastor and I let him know that my husband had transitioned. And within 45 minutes, he and his wife was at our home to care for us. as we were waiting for the funeral and the morticians to come and gather for its body to care for us. But see, that's been a growing part of our ministry. What Keisha is talking about is kindness. I think kindness is a doorway to introduce yourself to Jesus. Kindness is a way that is welcome in this society because we're not used to people being kind. And today's students need this kindness. They need to know that the kindness of Jesus can meet them in the midst of vast loneliness and vast pain and anxiety about being in person and to grow through school. And many of you already know that last year's sophomores are really this year's freshmen because they began their collegiate career online. And the numbers have said that for many of our Black students, the enrollment was 50% lower than it has been prior to the pandemic because people didn't want to go to school on a computer. They wanted to be in a classroom. They wanted to interact with people because college is not just simply going to listen to a lecture. College and the way we learn is the way we negotiate our relationships with people. And then to have Jesus in the mix gives us even further insight on how to do that. So I appeal to you to consider contributing to this. I told my wife that I was participating in this vision dinner again online, and she said, make sure that Keisha sends me a link because I want to support Wisconsin too. And I just want to encourage you to see the good work that is necessary in the life of a Black student. My last comment would be a reference to an article that just came out just 2 weeks ago in the New York Times by David Brooks. And I think it's no surprise to any of us that our witness is challenged in today's times. And it's an exceptional article that talks about the 3 things that have really began to challenge our witness in today's society. And I would urge you to go back and look at that article. It's pretty lengthy, but I thought it was pretty spot on. And it's talking about the political issues in evangelicalism to the challenges of leadership, both corrupt, either by sexual scandal or heavy shepherding. And then the last one is the overwhelming views of race that is overwhelming our faith. These are difficult times to do ministry with Black students, probably the most challenging I've ever had in my life. Yet at the same time, it's the most exciting and energetic moment. And I love Wisconsin. It's my birth state. I was born just 2 blocks from the school that I would later attend, Marquette University, where we have an Impact chapter. And I hope that you would see the fruit of this labor and would invest in it for the good of the kingdom, for the well-being of your state, and for the thriving and the succeeding generations of people who will call on Jesus' name and would represent them in that state, like Mia and Keisha and Tori. So I thank you for joining us tonight. Really appreciate you. Happy New Year. We're still in the middle of Black History Month, but since this is my first time seeing you, Happy New Year, and may God's blessing be upon you. Thank you. Back to you, Keisha.
Well, I just want to say thank you all for joining us and taking the time to watch this video. I would imagine that's a lot harder to sit down and watch a video instead of being live. And I wish I got a chance to see your faces on the screen. But I hope that this video is encouraging and exactly just something that's just encouraging and helpful for you to understand where we're going, where we've been, and how God has been moving through our students, through our student lives across the state. And so there are a few links that I want to give you. One, below is a link to where you can give. In this account, all of our funds are funneled through this account and then disseminated to all of our chapters. And so if you give to that link, that's where you can make sure that your funds goes towards our work in Wisconsin. We also have an additional link, a giving link, and this link goes directly to our Wisconsin Staff Fund. And so all the funds that goes to this link will go into our staff fund, and these funds will go to supporting staff on particular campuses. And one of the best ways to support us in the staff fund is become a monthly supporter. My desire is to see $2,500 in monthly support enter into that account each month, so that we can continue to be building on it and building on it and building on it. So as staff, as God blesses us with more people that want to come on staff or be student staff, this allows us a space in the funds that we need to be able to make sure that they have the support that they need to be able to stay on campus. I also want to share our website. We have newsletters as well as blogs posted on our website. All of you should be receiving our newsletters. If not, they're all posted on our website, but also our vlogs is a chance for you to get detailed information about what the Lord has been doing on a particular campus in a particular month. These blogs do not come out every month because I'm really busy, but this is a chance, unique chance to be able to see how God is moving in detail and hear from our students, hear from our staff about what has God been doing in the lives of Black students across the state. But also I would love to welcome you to be a part of our 7 days of prayer for impact. We usually do this time, the first 7 days of January, but that's always a difficult time to do it because it's the holidays and trying to figure things out. And so I decided to move it to the first 7 days of March. One, to be able to ask you all to join us as a part of our virtual vision event, but also to make it easier for others to be able to join us and have our students join us as well as our staff to be a part of this. So I would love for you to prayerfully consider joining us for 7 days to pray for impacting Wisconsin, praying for our students, praying for our staff, praying that God provides the funds that we need to be able to impact the lives of every Black student in the state. That is like one of my greatest desires, is to eventually get to a point where we can touch every single Black student in the state. And so please consider signing up, and the link for that will be below as well. And you can get reminders via email or text message. And so those are all the links. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. And I'm so sad that I'm not able to see you. And my prayer is that next year we'll be able to be in person and we'll be able to see each other and hug each other and check in and be in each other's presence and worship and praise God in the same space for what he's doing and what he continues to do through our work in Wisconsin. So thank you so much for your continued support and encouragement. And I look forward to hearing from you soon. Bye.